Yo, what's up, guys? Fall for Smash here, making my new tier list series. This is gonna be a 7-part series. Today, I'm gonna be doing F tier. I'm gonna be doing 4 characters in it. So there are several rules. One is that I'm not gonna be doing any Miis because I don't have nearly as much experience with them as I do with other characters. I'm not gonna be pairing any characters together like Pit and Dark Pit. Like there will be one that will have the advantage. I'm not going to. Well, actually, I'm going to be basing this tier list like 70% off of completely my opinion, 20% off of stuff that just makes sense. Like, for example, I can't just place like Toon Link last place because that's ridiculous. I'm going to actually do stuff that makes sense. And 10% off of results, which completely speaks for itself. So yeah, let's get into it. And I'm going to be running it from the worst character to the best character. So the worst character, in my opinion, is Jigglypuff. So Jigglypuff, she is the lightest character in the game. No ground game, no grab, and horrible, really like no great matchups. Her throws are even worse than her grabs. Like all her grabs just suck. Pivot grab sucks. Standing grab sucks. Dash grab sucks. And to top it all off, she's slow. Like her only really good move on the ground is dash attack, but it's pretty much useless because she'll never be on the ground anyway, because her mobility on the ground sucks and all of her other moves on the ground sucks, and her shield sucks and her grab sucks. So she'll really just need to be in the air where she's floaty and she'll have no combos. But the thing is that Jigglypuff's up and down air are pretty useless. They really don't have much use. But her forward air, back air, and neutral air, on the other hand, actually have some use. But they're pretty much like Jigglypuff's entire kit. Like, Jigglypuff's forward air actually has some combo potential with the late part of it, because it can combo into neutral air, forward air, or rest, but those are really percent specific and not really that good in my eyes. So, and it's kind of unfortunate that Jigglypuff just relies on 3 moves, because that's not good in my opinion, because it becomes predictable. And Jigglypuff's, oh my gosh, like everything about this character is just so bad, and she does have some kill potential with rest and like some other moves like back air, but the thing is that she doesn't have many kill moves, which means that she's just so predictable. And all, like, as a Jigglypuff, all you're gonna do is like float around and wait for your opponent to whiff and then punish with like an aerial. But that's not a very good strategy in my opinion, because it's so like easy to catch on to, and Jigglypuff's attacks aren't as threatening as like Ganondorf's or something. And so that kind of is unfortunate for Jigglypuff in a way. To be honest, like, it's just so bad. This character is just so bad. Easily the worst character in the game without Mii's included. And so, the next character that I'm going to be talking about is, like, pretty bad, but not nearly as bad as Jigglypuff. This character is Ganondorf. The character that Colonel Adams said is the worst character in the game. So Ganondorf is just so incredibly slow. Like, single-handedly, being slow will take you down from being like, if Ganondorf was like as fast as like Sheik or something, like Sheik or Mewtwo or like Sonic, I'd say Ganondorf would be like around here. But like, since Ganondorf is just so incredibly slow, it hurts him so much. And another really bad thing about Ganondorf is that his attacks are so laggy, and it doesn't help that he's slow, because and it won't give him any combos, and he's so easily punishable on so many things. And him being slow means that he's really easily walled out, because Ganondorf doesn't really have the best range on his attacks. But he does have some moves that have great priority, like down B, in the air and on the ground, but which is good for Ganondorf, but it's definitely just not enough to make up for his slow speed and laggy moves. But another really, really bad trait about Ganondorf is just that his recovery is one of the worst in the game, easily. Because Ganondorf, his fall speed isn't that fast, but it's definitely above average. And his aerial mobility is horrendous, like I said, like he's so slow. And his air mobility is horrendous, but his up B actually has some pretty decent vertical distance, but its horizontal distance is like non-existent. So it's really, really hard for Ganondorf to recover horizontally, but vertically it's not as bad as many people think it is, especially if Ganondorf knows how to tech. But Ganondorf has some horrible matchups. Like he loses horribly to Pikachu, and horribly to Bayonetta, horribly to Cloud, horrible to Rosalina, horrible to Mewtwo, horrible to like all the top tiers, maybe some mid tiers, and like all the high tiers. And Ganondorf's matchup chart is easily one of the worst in the game. So that really just hurts him, unfortunately, because you know it's Ganondorf. I mean, you want him to be good, right? Because he's iconic. But he hits so hard, and it's just that's the thing. He probably hits harder than every other character in the game. But it's just he's just so bad. He's so bad because he's so slow, and his recovery is so bad, and he's so laggy. But and he's complete combo food, and his combo game is not really that good. He doesn't have many combos. And his grab game is he he doesn't have any kill throws, which hurts him quite a bit because he kind of lacks shield pressure. But he kind of lacks shield pressure anyway because his side B can be teched, and he doesn't have any kill confirms off of grabs, and he doesn't have any kill throws aside from back and forward throw, which kill like only at like 130 or like 150 at the ledge. I'm not sure, but like it's still really late, which is not good for Ganondorf at all. So this really just hurts Ganondorf a lot. But the reason why I put him as better than Jigglypuff is because he actually has some pretty good tools like up smash, and the fact that he actually gets stuff from his grabs, and he actually has really scary damage output. Even though he still is like his hitboxes are much worse, and his air speed is way worse. But you know strengths his strength weaknesses ratio is definitely better than Jigglypuff's because Jigglypuff has like no strengths. So yeah, Ganondorf is second to worst. So the next character that I'm going to be talking about is a character that has like very little showings at tournaments, and he's really uncommon. And he hits hard similar to Ganondorf, but not nearly as hard. But he does make up for it with a lot of other things. This character is King Dedede, or King Dedede, whichever you prefer. So King Dedede, his combo game is actually not that bad, and his neutral is not that bad because his down throw and dash grab give him some pretty great combos, and he has some pretty safe pressure and good approach options with like forward tilt and back air and whatnot, and auto cancel back air from it. King Dedede can auto cancel back air from a short hop, which can allow for some really good pressure. And King Dedede is really heavy, and which means that he will be combo food, but he will live for a longer time, so that kind of just outweighs the weakness. But the main thing holding King Dedede back is just that, similar to Ganondorf, it's just he's way too slow. Like again, similar to Ganondorf, like if he wasn't slow, he'd be like here or here, or sorry, here. But like that's not really the case. But the main thing that makes King Dedede better than Ganondorf, in my opinion, is the fact that King Dedede actually has a pretty good recovery. Um, it still is pretty exploitable, but it's definitely better than Ganondorf's, especially considering King Dedede has multiple jumps. And so, yeah, but King Dedede is still really laggy, and actually he hits considerably less hard than Ganondorf. Aside from forward smash, like a lot of his attacks are way less threatening to deal much less damage and much less knockback. But he makes up for that with his ledge trapping. His ledge trapping is one of the best in the game easily, maybe even the best in the game, because it's some characters just have such a hard time getting around the Gordos. Even some characters that cannot get back easily, can still have a hard time if King Dedede plays it right. So yeah, King Dedede is actually a pretty decent character, but he's still unviable in the current metagame. I feel like that he could become viable if like Earthquake like somehow manages to place like top 8 or something. Like that would make people go crazy. So yeah, but King Dedede is pretty bad as of now. But I'd like to see him move up in the future because I think that he has quite a bit of potential. But as of now, he's third worst in the game. And so the last character that I'm going to be talking about today is a character that you'd probably think I'm underrating, but in my opinion, I think that he is not as good as people think he is. And he's pretty much just a worse version of Fox, and this is going to be Falco. It's so unfortunate that he got nerfed in Melee. And pretty much everything about Falco just feels nerfed from Brawl and Melee. Like, his shine is much worse, his lasers are much worse, his side B is much worse, his up B is much worse. Pretty much everything about Falco is just so much worse. But the main thing holding Falco back is just that his recovery is so bad. His recovery is like one of the worst in the game easily. It's not as bad as Ganondorf's, but it's still, I mean, it does reach a pretty good distance, but it's still really exploitable. One of the most exploitable ones in the game. And Falco is also pretty slow, even though he's not as slow as Ganondorf and King Dedede. If he wasn't slow and if he had a good recovery, he'd honestly be a monster. He's not be as good as Fox, but he's still be a monster. But the only real advantages Falco has are like his combo game, his throws, and his kill power and his damage output are all really good. And basically, like every time Falco hits you, he hits like a truck. But the thing is about Falco is that he has such a hard time even hitting you in the first place because his neutral is so bad. Like his only real options in the neutral are sometimes side B, but still not as good as like Fox's when he jumps in side B's because he moves so much slower during his side B. Like pretty much everything about Falco is just toned down from Fox. Like his combo game is worse, his recovery is worse, his kill power is worse. Pretty much everything about Falco is just worse than Fox. And so there's really like no point in playing Falco when you can just play a character that's just better in like almost every aspect. I mean, of course you can play Falco if you find him to be more fun, but still, if you're playing to win, then just don't choose Falco. Another really sad thing about Falco is that he has like no results at all. He might actually possibly have the worst results out of every character in the game. Like look up like something like Falco placings at Evo or Falco placings like at anything, and good luck finding a Falco that placed well at a tournament. You're just seriously good luck. And so yeah, that's gonna close out F tier. I hope you guys enjoyed the first part of the tier list series. If you have any comments or complaints or anything, feel free to leave them down in the comments. And tell me how you guys like the setup. Do you guys like the video? Do you guys like how I like the information I'm providing? And what do you think I could do to improve these videos in the future? And thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you guys all again soon. Bye!